guys, BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow, guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. Well, let's see what we're working on today. This is a Texas Star Sweet 16. It has been splatified on the inside. Look at how burned up that is. It's all black carbon score. My only question is, what happened to the output tuning capacitor? That should be right about here. There should be about another 1,000 puffs worth of capacitance. Goes from here to here. Gone. Missing. And that would cause this box to go down. I like this power distribution system. I used to do it this way back when I was younger. It's quick, it's easy, and it works. The fact that all the leads are tied together here at the Anderson clips makes it safe. If these were all individual leads, I would be crying a foul, but this is the way the guy designed it to go out the door. So, what I got to do to get in here and clean this up is I got to pull all these power wires out, pull these leads out, and I think we're going to do something different for the power distribution. But, all that aside, I got to understand what happened down here, because it literally looks like this thing has been on fire, which is amazing to me. So give me a few minutes. We're going to pull the power wire out, and then we're going to take a look at what's going on underneath here in the back corner. I don't throw nothing away. Of course, you can buy these boards online. So here's the aftermath, you guys. Now the power wires are out. This little 2-pill section's seen better days. So now my mission, to which I've chosen to accept, is I got to go in here and I'm going to clean all the burn out of here. And obviously these two transistors are toast, and that means this combiner over here is going to be toast, which it is. So I got to pull this apart over here and rebuild that. And the mystery still is, why did this thing burn up as hard as it did? The only thing I can think is there might have been some loose solder or something that was in here at one point or another. I don't really know. Clean it up, punch a couple holes over here, and we'll bring our power wires in, and then we'll distribute them from here out to the rest of the amp. So we'll make it a little bit more of a unified theory. See, have those been crimped? I'm going to pull that apart and find out. All right, well, when we come back, we'll have all this cleaned up. Haven't seen one burn up this tough in a while, and I mean, if those 10 ohmers are the reason that there's this much black score in there, I mean, something smoked and smoked forever. I mean, that's some serious soot that's on these resistors. So not the worst one I've seen. The worst one I've seen was the very first one when I came back to working on amps and radios and stuff. It was right after my divorce when I was 30, 12 years ago. Went to the local CB shop and he gave me one to repair, and a guy got the suite so hot that all the parts had slid over here to this corner. We're sitting in a big jumbled mess. And I pulled every part out of there and put it back on the board where it needed to go, and pulled all the boards up and cleaned it up. So this isn't stock, but I really want to know where the output tuning capacitors went. There's a cap that sits right here. It goes to ground, and it's completely missing. Completely flippin' missing, so. Alright, let's take it apart. here we are, all cleaned up, all the carbon scores off. Placed the two 10 ohmers. The two transistors that come out of here were junk. I tested the two caps, as you guys seen in the lead-in video for this, and rebuilt the combiner. So now what we have to do is modify the power distribution network on the inside. Not that that wasn't adequate enough, because it was. It's just not the way I like to do things. So give me a hot minute. Back to the time lapse. We're going to have a motley mix here, I can just tell. So we're done with the framelit. Power wires are all done. I hook it up and go and try and run it, and nothing. I mean, we're like seeing like 30 watts. So these transistors are turning on and running. This combiner is getting hot, and the whole rest of this box is just dead. So I randomly grabbed this transistor, which is good. It's got a gain of like 25. And then I randomly pulled this one, and it's got a gain of nothing. It's a dead short. So, needless to say, guess what? They all get to come out now. Well, all but these two. So, gotta pull that one, that one, that one, and that one. So, yay! We'll be back. So what we had happen here is the bias resistor was out over here. It was wide open. So we're getting almost a full volt of bias on the input transformer over here. And this transistor was bad, and this one was bad. So this half the amplifier was technically dead. So I pulled all of these transistors out, checked them all, put them all back in, got everything running again. Got the output tune where I want it. Had to come over and change the input tune a little bit. And then I went ahead and I pulled all the resistors out. The little 1.8 ohm resistors that are in here for bias, and replaced them with diodes, which will work much better. All the diode in the resistor does here in the circuit is gives a reference to ground on the other side of the resistor. So it shows a field load for the current back to ground, and that's what controls your amount of voltage presence that's actually referenced. You can reference with a multimeter. Otherwise, you got to measure it in current, which is a little bit more complicated, but I just measure it with voltage, and I know if I get the voltage right, the current's going to self-regulate through the device anyhow. So I went ahead and I backed the bias down a little bit. So now we're in full stable class B on this puppy, and it's running really good now. Everything's set up freaking perfect. So power wire upgrades are done. Let's go ahead and run through it here real quick. I've got 1,000 watt slug and peak, 1,000 in average, 5 watt slug and reverse. We've got the 2 pills set up, running into the suite. I use a 2950, going into the 2 pill, going into the suite. First off, I should shut this off. Let's go ahead and turn this on. And, well, just turn the suite off. So everything off. start with just the radio. So here's what we're doing for radio drive. Hello. Almost nothing. And the reason for that is when I bring the 2-pill into line, I know I really need to build a 1-pill, a bench 1-pill. I know. If I could find time to build something for myself, I should be working on somebody else's stuff. Okay, so. Hello. About 400 watts out. Hello. Input tunes flatter than a doornail. So let's go ahead and turn the amp on. Or turn the amp off. Turn the 2-pill on. Let me show you what I'm going to put into this thing for drive. Hello. About 200 watts. Have to have the mic gain way back on the 2950 to get this to only do 200 watts. Hello. Burying it in a corner. Okay. Let's come over here. We'll flip this to 2x. So now remember that 50 watt mark, or the 50 mark, looking at the bottom scale. Okay, so directly between the 40 and the 60, the 1000 watts. 1580. And here's our bird watts. Pretty anemic because I got to have the modulation way back, right? So now, here, so you guys can watch what I'm doing. So now, let's get rid of the 2950. Let's take this out of the equation. Let's turn on a Frankenstein radio here. Make Mo Watts radio. I've had to do the same thing with the derail Cobra 29 up here. Back down to 1x. Hello. Hello. About 180 watts. Back up to 2x. Turn on the suite. Hello. There's our full 1600. Look at our average meter. Hello. It's a screaming baby. Now what I want to also do, the reason I show you the 2950 is because that's what the average guy is going to run. That's the average guy's radio, is the 2950. This derail radio, on the other hand, just makes everything look magical. So, here's our clamp over amp ring. That's flat out standing on it. Pulling 118 amps. Watch what happens. I know, I've been spinning the camera around a bunch. I apologize, you guys. Oh, I get this done. I got a Chinese amplifier I got to go work on next, and I'm really kind of looking forward to that, actually. It's a 5CX 1500. Very low drive amplifier. Okay, so we're going to bring a 2950 back into equation. 2950 into the 2-pill into the suite. Remember, about 400, we weren't seeing all that many. We were seeing big peak watts, but we weren't seeing the average, right? 61 amps. A 350 bird. You see the difference? Now, there's a giant debate that goes on with this radio. Every time you bring up one of these radios, all I know is they're loud, and they freaking work. And I mean, they really, 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 really work. So, I mean, that's that. I don't know what else to say. And the amp meter, it don't lie. It's telling us the honest to God truth. This is how much current's flowing by it. Now, guys, I'm going to put this amp for sale. I appreciate y'all tuning in to watch the little for sale video here. But this sucker's repaired. And I now own it. I want $650 for it. plus the ride, so maybe about $700. It's a long-bodied original Sweet 16 with all HGs in it, 8-pill. It does 1700 watts and possibly up to 1,000 bird, depending on how you drive it with what kind of radio. So let me know. It's up for grabs. The faceplate, well, that's a little bit of heatsink compound that's on the front. Faceplate's in good shape. The lid for it's in good shape. With the power wire upgrade, this thing will run forever. So let me know. This thing's up for sale. $650 plus the ride. It's ready to go out the door right now. I got guys that call me all the time looking for 8-pills and sweets. Original, old school, long-bodied Sweet 16 upgrades. With upgrades. So call me, let me know, text me. First one with cash gets to go home with it. See you guys. Have a good night. Bump bump from BBI.